All right, welcome everyone to Vinyasa Yoga. We will be doing a circular flow today. So you may want to have your mat set up so that it's the long way towards your device so that you can see me throughout the class a little bit better. And then also if you have a towel or a strap, a block, those things might be handy as well. All right, from our comfortable seated position, start to soften your eyes or even close your eyes altogether. And finding some slow, deep breaths, inhaling through the nose. You're welcome to exhale through your mouth, letting go of your day, letting go of the weekend. I'll take 2 more of these deep breaths. And then still taking the deep breaths, but now in through the nose and out through the nose. Slow, deep, smooth breaths. Take 2 more of these deep, slow breaths. To gather your palms at heart center. We'll take the circle of joy today as you inhale, interlacing the fingers, the elbows come to shoulder height. And then on your exhale, press the palms away from you, round through your spine, opening up a space between your shoulder blades. Inhale, sit up tall, arms above the head. On the exhale, separate the fingers, big open circle, stretching the shoulders in front of your chest. Hands come slightly behind you, tenting the fingers. Inhale, open the heart to the sky, maybe looking up towards the sky with your gaze. And exhale, return hands to the heart center. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, elbows to shoulder height. Exhale, press and round. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Keep that length as you exhale, opening up the shoulders. Inhale, open the heart to the sky, opening the throat to the sky as it feels good. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, elbows. Exhale, round your spine. Inhale, sit up tall, lengthen. Exhale, open the arms. Inhale, open your heart and throat. And exhale, hands to your heart. I'm taking a couple moments here to set an intention as you like. This could be your reason for practicing yoga with me today, or any other thing that you'd like to dedicate your practice to. With your intention set in your heart, let's meet in a tabletop position on the mat. Moving through some rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, finding your cow pose. And on the exhale, tucking and rounding into cat. Do this 2 more times. Smooth, deep breaths, leading the smooth, slow movement. And the next time you find yourself in cat pose, draw the big toes together and settle the hips back towards the heels into a child. On the inhale, press back up through tabletop, flowing through cow. And on the exhale, find your cat child. Inhale, table cow. Exhale, cat child, moving with your own breath. We'll do 2 more rounds of these. After your second round, go ahead and settle into a child's pose, adjusting the width of your knees, adjusting, maybe bending the elbows, resting your forehead on the mat or your stacked hands. Settling into this child's pose, gently massaging the forehead, the eyebrow center, the third eye on the mat, letting go of any excess mental energy that you're holding on to, letting it flow out through the forehead into the earth, setting yourself free of these thoughts. And then beginning to extend the arms. The forehead lifts up off the mat. And then walking both hands over to your right side, finding a side stretch for the left side body. 2 more deep flowing breaths here. Maybe walking the hands a little further over if that feels appropriate. Allowing the left shoulder to sink down towards the mat. Walking both hands through center and then over to the left side, finding the stretch on the right side body. Feeling the right shoulder sinking towards the mat. 2 more deep breaths. Hands walk back to center. Pressing the sit bones back towards the heels again into an active child stretch. Fingertips are rooted down into the mat. Feeling the 4 corners of the hands pressing down into the mat. The inner arch of the palm of the hand is lifting away from the mat ever so lightly. And as you take your next inhale, press all the way up to tabletop. We'll drop down onto the elbows, setting up for puppy pose. So adjusting the placement of your knees so that the hips are right over the knees. And we'll reach one hand out at a time, extending both arms, stretching through the spine. The neck is an extension of the spine into puppy pose. Forehead can either float off the mat or you can rest the forehead on the mat again. Another opportunity to let go of any excess mental energy. From here, the forehead floats up of the mat. You can just shift yourself forward so you can come down onto those elbows again. And then shifting the hips, the feet back, finding your Sphinx pose, gentle back bends. Hold here for a couple deep flowing breaths. All right, lower the chest, the forehead down to the mat. Slide the hands beneath the shoulders. And then on your next inhale, press up through tabletop. Curl the toes, lift the hips up and back. Find your first downward facing dog. Taking whatever movement you need here. Getting the sense, the feeling of how downward facing dog feels on your wrists, your shoulders, and your feet, ankles, the backs of your legs. And then we'll take a few low flows here from this downward facing dog. So as you take your next inhale, float to plank. Your choice, knees stay lifted off the mat or knees lower down. As you exhale, lower all the way down, belly and chest down to the mat. Inhale, find a baby cobra. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale takes you to plank. Exhale, lower all the way down onto the mat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog, moving with your breath. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog or puppy pose. Finding the pose of your choice, settling into the pose, and taking several rounds of deep flowing breath here. Returning to your intention. Good. And from this downward facing dog, we're going to start moving through our circular flow today. This is going to be our core vinyasa flow. You can look forward at your hands, and then we'll step whichever foot is furthest away from me. So I'm stepping my right foot forward. We're going to eventually make our way into a crescent and a wide-legged stance. So step whatever foot forward so that when we do pivot to the long edge of the mat, you're facing the camera, facing the screen. And from this crescent pose, we'll inhale, the arms reach up to high crescent. On the exhale, hands come together at heart center. As you inhale, begin to sweep the hands. So you're swooping the hands, pivoting the feet, coming into setting up for goddess pose, so a star here. And then as you exhale, bending the knees, sinking the hands down to the heart center. A variation of goddess pose with Anjali Mudra hands. So we're going to take our time this first time through. So go ahead and adjust here. Find a place on the seat of this goddess pose that feels good on your hips. It's a nice stretch for the inner thighs. It's good for externally rotating open the hips, stretching and strengthening the hips. We'll be here just for another breath or so. And then we're going to make our way to the back edge of the mat. So beginning to sweep the arms, the hands, all the way around, pivoting the feet. Arms come up above the head, and then as you exhale, hands to the heart, sinking into crescent pose. Good, couple breaths here in this crescent pose. So we'll go through this a couple more times and we'll start adding on, building to the flow. On your next inhale, begin to swoop the hands again, coming back to the long edge of your mat. Arms above the head, toes out wide. Exhale, sink down, find goddess. Good, inhale, pivoting back to the front edge of the mat. Arms high, exhale, sink down into crescent. Good, let's continue. Inhale, sweeping the arms up to center, arms above the head. Exhale, sink down, goddess. Inhale, swoop to the back of the mat. Find your high crescent, and exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, swoop the arms back to center, pivot the feet, exhale, goddess. Inhale, back to the front of the mat, find your high crescent, and exhale, sink down. Good. Starting to add on here. Deep inhale. As you exhale, bring both hands to the mat, pressing down the left hand, or whichever hand opposite of the front foot that's in front of you. We're going to open up into dragonfly twist. Enjoy a couple breaths here in this dragonfly. Good, begin to firm your belly. So on your next inhale, you can swoop all the way back up into that crescent again. Exhale, sink down, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms to the center. Exhale, sink down, goddess. Inhale, arms sweep. Find your crescent, back of the mat. Exhale, sink down. Good. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands sweep down. Inhale, dragonfly twist. Twisting towards the bent knee. Holding the twist here. Feeling the twist in the abdominal area. One more deep inhale. All right, toning your belly. As you exhale, lift back up. Sink down, hands to heart. And then we'll swoop it back up to center. Exhale, sink down, goddess. We're gonna get those hips nice and warmed up. Inhale, sweep to the front. Exhale, sink down, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat. And inhale, dragonfly twist. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, rise, high crescent. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, sweep to the center. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, sweep to the back. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, arms extend, high crescent. Exhale, hands to the mat, framing the foot. Inhale, find your dragonfly twist. Exhale, lower. So this time from this low lunge with the hands on the mat, let's step back to downward facing dog. So between these circular flows we'll be taking some down dogs. If you are a chaturanga up dog fan, feel free to add that to the flow here. Otherwise, we're gonna hang out in down dog. Your options to down dog or substitutes for down dog are puppy or child's pose. So after all that movement you just did, take this time to find a stillness. Reconnect with your breath and reconnect with your intention. Good. From this downward facing dog. So we're going to continue adding on. So whichever foot is furthest away from your device, let's inhale, lift that leg up. So we're going to come into a three-legged dog. From here, bending that knee, and then we'll stack the hips, coming into a twisted three-legged dog, opening up the hip flexor. Hold here, one or so more breaths. Inhale, come back to center, square off the hips. And then let's step that foot forward. We're gonna come into the crescent here on this side. So as you're ready, inhale, lift up into the crescent. Exhale, sink down, hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms, find your center. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, sweep the arms. Coming to the second side of the mat. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands come down to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. All right, the foot that's furthest away from the device, inhale that leg up, find your three-legged dog. Bending the knee, begin to stack the hips, stretching open the hip flexor. Shoulders stay square to the mat. Inhale, level off the hips. Step that foot forward. Find your crescent on this side. Exhale, sink down. Hands to heart. Inhale, sweep. Arms to center. Exhale, sink down, goddess. Inhale, sweep the arms. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Option to move through a vinyasa or come into your dog or your puppy. Slow the breath down if it feels like it's gotten out of control. Return to the breath, return to your intention. Good. All right. So from here, we're going to move into three-legged dog. So whichever foot is furthest away from your device, inhale, lift that leg up high. Bend the knee, find that turned, stacked hip, downward facing dog.
Option here is to find flip dog or wild thing if that's in your practice. Otherwise, hold on to the twisted three-legged dog. If you're in the flip dog or the wild thing, go ahead and bring yourself back. And we'll all meet with the hips square to the mat. Step that foot forward. Find your crescent. Good. From here, adding on as you exhale, warrior two. Inhale, extend the front leg, find reverse triangle, open up the side body. And as you exhale, windmilling the arms, coming into a triangle shape. We're going to do this 2 more times. Inhale up to reverse. And exhale, triangle. Keeping the sides of the waist long as you windmill, as you seesaw back and forth, feeling the strength of your abdominals. And on this third time, we're going to hold the triangle pose. So using a block, finding a home for your bottom hand, either on the shin, the block, the mat. Choosing a place for your top arm, maybe extended up towards the sky, arms at a T, or that hand at your waist. Send your gaze with intention down at the earth, out to the side or up to the sky. Deep breaths in and out. Slowing down your breath. Good. Begin, put a little extra bend in that front knee. And then on your inhale, windmill yourself all the way back up. Find that reverse triangle again. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, crescent. Coming up on the ball of the back foot. Exhale, hands to the mat. Open, find that dragonfly twist. Option here to hold the dragonfly. Or begin, we'll take some shoulder rotation. So that top arm comes down just above your body, fingertips towards the back foot. And then we'll sweep that arm up. So the shoulder's making a big circle, arm reaches forward, and then we'll bring that hand all the way back, maybe tapping the hip. Inhale, open back up, dragonfly. Let's do that one more time. So if you're doing the shoulder rotation, so it's a full 360-degree circle for the shoulder, or thereabout. And then we'll meet back in the dragonfly. Hands frame the front foot. Strength of your core. Inhale up to crescent. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the hands, come up to the center. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, sweep the hands. Find your crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Whew, all right, warrior two. Inhale, extend the front leg, come into reverse triangle. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, come into triangle. Inhale, rise. You're really feeling the strength of your abdominals, of your core, taking you into and out of these two shapes. We'll do this a total of 3 times dynamically. And then on the third triangle, go ahead and hold that. Setting up, being intentional with where your feet are, where are your hands, where are you sending your gaze? And then focusing on the breath. Deepen the bend in the knee. Bring yourself all the way back up to the reverse triangle. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, find your crescent, high crescent. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, dragonfly twist. Choosing to hold the dragonfly twist or bringing that top arm parallel to the mat, fingers extending towards the back foot. Bringing the arm up around, taking a full circle with that shoulder, with that hand, maybe tapping the outside of the opposite hip. We'll do that one more time. So enjoying that stretch, that mobility in your shoulder. Noticing what's going on this side. And then we'll all meet back in the dragonfly twist. Hands lower down to the mat. And go ahead and step back. Downward facing dog. Option to move through a vinyasa. Taking the pose of your choice. Reconnecting with the breath. Reconnecting with your intention. Do one more flow. From downward facing dog, begin to lift the foot furthest from your device up towards the sky. Find your three-legged dog, your choice here. Maybe stack bending the knees, stacking the hips, flipping the dog. If you flip the dog, go ahead and bring yourself back. Square off the hips, step that foot forward, and rise up, crescent. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhale, sweep the hands, find your center. Exhale, sink down, goddess. We're gonna hold here, holding goddess pose. See if you can feel your spine perpendicular to the earth. And your knees are opening up to the sides as best you can. Good, let's flip the hands down towards the tops of the knees. And now we'll move that spine a little bit at an angle so that you're using the arms as braces here. So there's a little bit, you're not perpendicular anymore, you're a little bit more leaning forward. And then from here, deep inhale, go to lengthen through the spine, shoulders away from the ears. And then as you exhale, let's take a shoulder dip. So one shoulder dips down towards center. Inhale, come back through the center. Exhale, dip the opposite shoulder down. Inhale through center. We'll do this a couple more times. Moving with your breath. Feeling the twist in your spine, probably in the area between the shoulder blades. Good. And then once you've done an equal number on both sides, we'll come back up to that center. Inhale, reach the arms up, extend the legs. And exhale, sink down in goddess. Inhale, sweep the arms. Come back up through center, through crescent. Exhale, sink down. Good. Inhale, extend the arms high. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, dragonfly twist. Choosing to stay here or moving through some more of those shoulder circles. We'll just do one this time. Meeting back in the dragonfly twist. Both hands to the mat. Inhale, rise, crescent. Oh, feeling that power. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, sweep the hands, come back through center. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, sweep the hands. Find your crescent. Going back to the front of the mat. Exhale, sink down. Inhale, arms reach high. Exhale, hands to the mat. Inhale, dragonfly. Option for the shoulder circle, shoulder rotation. Meeting in dragonfly. Hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog, option for vinyasa. Coming back into your resting pose, your dog. Your puppy. And we'll all eventually meet in child's pose. So in your own way, making your way to child's pose if you're not there already. And coming into that fully supported place, knees whatever distance apart feels good. Let the belly sink down towards the thighs. Maybe it's the outer part of the belly touching the thighs. Find a place to rest the forehead.
Returning to your breath. Returning to your intention. One more deep, soft breath here. Beginning to extend your arms, activating the arms so you can take your next inhale and rise up to tabletop. Go ahead and square up your knees and your wrists so that the knees beneath the hips, the wrists beneath the shoulders will get set up for some thread the needle. So pressing down into your left hand, begin to inhale, sweep the right arm up to the sky. And on the exhale, threading the needle. So we're going to do this 3 times dynamically. On your next inhale, rise back up, open up the heart. Exhale, thread the needle. On the third iteration, coming into the thread the needle, finding a place to rest the shoulder on the mat, the side of the face perhaps, the ear on the mat. And then your choice, the supporting hand, the left hand either stays where it is or finding a bind, maybe extending the top arm, hand towards the top of the mat, hoping to deepen the stretch, the twist. Return that top hand, that supporting hand back to a place where you can inhale, on-thread the needle, take your time. Maybe it's more than just one breath to come all the way up, open up the heart. And then release that hand down to the mat. Setting up for side 2, rubbing down through the right palm. Inhale, the left hand sweeps up to the sky. And then 3 times. Dynamically moving with the breath, threading, and then on threading on the inhale, opening up the chest. And as you come into the thread needle the 3rd time, finding a place to rest in the pose. Return the supporting hand back to the mat. So as you take your next in breath, you can begin to come out. Again, taking as much time as you need here. Nice and easy. And then as you're ready, coming back to neutral tabletop. We'll all meet there. And then from this neutral tabletop position, yogi's choice, maybe some more rounds of cat-cow, maybe it's torso circles. Finding whatever movement your body needs right now. Good. All right,
from here, let's press back into an extended child's pose one more time. An active extended child's pose, rounding through the spine, bringing the chin in towards the throat. And the stretch in the back of your neck. Inhale, walking the hands forward, coming into a plank position. We're going to lower all the way down onto the mat, resting on the belly. So your choice, maybe coming down through a chaturanga push-up, bringing your belly and your face down to the mat. Let's open the arms up into goalpost arms. Bring the toes wide to the edges of the mat. The heels are inward. And we'll rest one cheek, your choice, resting one ear on the mat. Feeling the support beneath the front of your body here, letting the whole weight of your body sink down into the earth. Lift up your head, begin to turn to the other side. So resting the opposite ear on the mat. Doing a couple of breaths here, feeling the whole weight of your body supported. Coming back up through center, let's gather the legs in towards the center. The hands come underneath the shoulders. On your next inhale, lift up into cobra. Maybe it's a baby cobra. Maybe it's a little bit deeper cobra, yogi's choice. Holding and breathing. Finding this back bend here where it feels good on your body today. And gently release, bringing yourself back down to the mat. Coming back to those goalpost arms or cactus arms. Resting one ear on the mat. Opening up the feet wide. Letting go of the weight of your body. And gently lift your head up the mat so you can turn to the other ear. Release, let go, surrender. Begin to return your head back to neutral. We'll extend one arm, your choice, extend one arm out to the top of the mat. And then whichever arm is extended, begin to roll over to that side. So you can roll all the way over onto your back. So coming into a reclined position on your mat. And have your strap or your towel handy if you're going to be using those or might be needing those. And then once you're on your back, go ahead and draw your knees in towards the chest one at a time. And again, yogi's choice here, any gentle side to side, back and forth movement, massaging out that low back. Good. All right, return your feet to the mat. We're going to get set up for some flowing shoulder bridge. So the knees are bent, the soles of the feet on the mat. And placing your feet on the mat so that when you do lift your hips up, your shin bones will be perpendicular to the earth. And the feet are hip distance apart, the knees are hip distance apart. All right, arms start at your sides. As you feel your next inhale arrive, begin to press down through the feet, lifting the hips up off the floor, feeling the stretch in the hip flexors, and then on the exhale, lower. Good. Now this next time, think about leading with your tailbone. So inhale, the tailbone lifts first, and then like a string of pearls, picking one vertebrae up at a time into the bridge, and then on the exhale, lower down. The upper back lowers first, and the tailbone is last. And so continuing to move dynamically like this, inhaling, lifting up, and exhale, gently releasing back down. So it's like a rolling wave through your spine. We'll do this a few more times. You're welcome to keep your arms at your sides, or if you want to add the arms to this, as you inhale, lift the hips up, the arms sweep up towards the sky, maybe coming all the way above you, coming all the way to the floor above your head. And then on the exhale, as you lower the hips, the arms lower down.
So as you practice this, we'll do this about 2 more times. I want you to think about timing the movement. So as your hips and your spine are like a rolling wave, the arms are timed so that the hands touch the floor above your head when you're at the height of the bridge. And then as you return the spine, the hips to the floor, the hands come to the floor at the same time. Let's do 1 more. All right, once your hips are back on the floor, let's bring those knees back into the chest again. Another opportunity for yogi choice. Rock and roll, maybe twist it out side to side. And then we'll get set up for our hip opener. So we'll be doing the hand to big toe pose. And we'll start with the left leg today. So go ahead and you can leave your right knee bent on the mat, or the foot on the mat. And then go ahead and bring the left leg up towards the sky. And if it feels okay on your body, you can always drop or extend that bottom leg down on the mat, but do what feels best for especially for your low back. And then we'll bring either the strap or the towel around the bottom of the foot, or maybe with your peace fingers, you can make a yogi toe lock around the big toe. And the leg is as straight as possible, a little micro bend in the knee so you're not locking out the knee joint. And then let's bring the right hand down onto the right hip bone in the front of the hip. So that hand is going to be like a weight. Imagine your right hand is a sandbag and it's resting on the right hip bone. And with that, bind with the hand or the strap or towel around the left foot. Let's flex that foot so we can really stretch out the back of the leg. And then from here, moving super slow so you can feel every sensation along the way. Begin to lower the left foot to the left side. So you're externally opening the hip joint. Keeping that sandbag of your right hand to keep the right hip from popping up. Super slow. And at some point, you may choose to just stay where you are. Send your breath in and out of that left hip. Take 2 more breaths here on the side. Slowly again, noticing every sensation, using the hand or the strap, the towel to help return that foot back up towards the sky. Super slow, as slow as you can go. And then once you've got that foot extended to the sky again, go ahead and switch. So now the right hand comes to the foot or to the strap or towel. And now that left hand, the thumb is going to come into the left hip crease. And now the left hand is like a sandbag. It's going to help keep that left hip down on the earth. Slowly begin to lower the left foot to the right side. It's now coming into an internal rotation. And then at some point, that left hip is going to want to pop up. If you find that super juicy, yummy place that you really want to enjoy a stretch, just hang out here. If this isn't feeling delicious just yet, you can start to explore, maybe let go of that sandbag in your left hand. Allow the hip to come up off the floor as you continue lowering the foot to the right side. Nice and slow and easy, noticing every sensation, choosing whether you want to hold where you are or continue lowering the foot.
breathe in and out of that left hip. Two more deep breaths. As you're ready, slowly return back to center, taking your time. And then once you're back to center, bend the knee, release the bind with the foot. And we'll slowly switch legs. So your choice, either that left leg extended out on the floor or keeping the left knee bent to help support the low back. Begin to bring the right foot in towards you so that you can find the bind with the toe or with your yoga prop. And then extending, pressing out through the heel, stretching out the back of that leg, little micro bend in the knee or a deeper bend as you need. Left hand is the sandbag on this side, so bring that left hand to the left hip bone. As you're ready, begin to lower the right foot towards the right side. Taking your time, moving with intention. Observing, noticing all the sensations. And soothing, nourishing that right hip with your breath. Two more deep breaths here. Slowly return back to center. Nice and easy. When you come back to your center, we'll switch out the hands. Now the left hand crosses over, finds the bind. And then when you're ready, tucking the right thumb into that hip crease, keeping the right hip on the mat as you start to cross over to the left. And then choosing if you want to keep that right thumb weighing down the right hip, or if you want to let that hip release up off the mat. Yogi's choice here, so find that yummy place that feels real good in that right hip. Deep breaths. And slowly taking your time, return to center. As you return to center, let go of that bind. And one more opportunity for yogi's choice here. So any pose you feel like you need before your Shavasana, take that now. As you're ready to come into Shavasana, setting yourself up so that you feel totally supported on the back side of your body. Couple of rounds of deep flowing breath, maybe exhaling through the mouth, letting out a sigh of relief because now it's time to totally rest.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. And bringing your attention to your toes and your fingers as they begin to move. Circling out the wrists, the ankles. Taking any other movement that feels appropriate right now. And then making your way back to a seated position. As you come to your seated position, softening the eyelids or closing your eyes altogether. Giving yourself a moment to observe the effects of the practice today. And then shifting your attention once more to your intention. As you take your next inhale, the arms reach outward and upward. Sealing in the practice. Exhale, hands to your heart. Returning once again to that intention you set at your heart. And bowing your head in gratitude for this time on the mat today. And thank you for sharing your time with me. Namaste.